The following podcast has been rated PGN. Parental guidance is neglected.
Boy, it's been a long time since we've had a little father-son chat.
I am your father.
Father, if you can hear me, I failed.
Don't let your mother smell that beer on your breath. She'll take it out on me.
I'm here with my dad.
I know what you're gonna say, son. And you're right. You're right.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
I've abandoned my boy!
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Parental Guidance Neglected. I'm one half of the show, Jackson Burns. The other half of the show is joined next to me, to my left, I believe, in the setup. My father, Regan Burns.
The better half. Don't call the other half the better half.
I think that's subjective. Personally, I don't know if,
I see.
The better half's a little.
Yeah, whatever. I see immediately that your roommate Teddy has completely decorated his wall since last time. He just doesn't.
Yeah, I know he's going crazy. He's going all out. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
a lot happening.
He's done absolutely nothing. How you doing, buddy? It's
I'm doing good.
It's the last weekend in September. Here we go.
It is
episode number 20. Is this 25? Or is it 24?
Is it? I think it's 24. I'm gonna check real quick.
If it's 25, it's almost like an anniversary show.
It is 24.
Oh,
so we got one more to go. And
so
then
next
we
week
is
our anniversary, our 25th anniversary.
Next week it is. It is.
That's right. 25. Well, this is episode 24 of the Parental Guidance Neglected podcast. Once again, my son and I on here to talk about this and that and this. Right before we went on the air, you were talking to your mother, your second favorite parent, and you were telling her about your exciting night last night.
Yes.
You went and saw, it was Black Midget. What's the name of the band you saw?
I saw two bands. Black Country New Road opened for Black Midi.
Country New Road and Black what?
Two phenomenal bands. Black Midi.
Black Midi. Whoa, Black Midi, Bam-a-lam. Whoa, yeah. Black Midi, Bam-a-lam. Is that they do that song?
Yeah, that was them.
That was them, huh?
Yeah.
Black Country Road and Black Midi.
Black Country New Road.
All right. And where did you see these? This was in downtown LA somewhere?
It was at the Wiltern. Side note, I just saw on Twitter that one of the band members of Black Country New Road was kind of dissing the Wiltern because they took 20% of their merch, what do you call it?
Wow.
Revenue.
Oh.
Their merch revenue, which is really messed up. And also, I guess their security were kind of assholes, so.
Really? Back in the day, I worked at the Wiltern. Did you know that?
Did you actually? I did not know that.
I did. I was an usher at the Wiltern when I first got to LA 89 years ago. I did it for like a summer.
And how was your time there?
I was good. It was fine. I don't know if they still. I don't think they do. Back then, it was still seats. I don't think it's seats anymore, right? It's just a big open floor.
Yeah, it is big open floor.
Yeah,
but it's kind of a tiered floor though, and then you have the balcony that still has the seats in it.
The balcony still has seats. Yeah, and then we were ushers. We had to wear like a uniform and everything, and this is what I remember from the Wiltern. I remember that I worked the summer that 10,000 Maniacs were there, and I watched some of them from the aisle, and they were horrible. Mm-hmm. And
I've never heard of them before, I don't think.
Natalie Merchant was their lead singer. They were really big back in like the 90s. They had a bunch of big hits. And then I don't know what happened to them. They dissolved. Kind of artsy-fartsy and really boring in concert. And I remember I saw, I think, I don't know, some other bands. But then I just remember one night Ben Stiller walked in with his wife to see somebody. That's all I remember from ushering at the Wiltern.
Interesting.
I was like, oh.
That was your.
And I remember he was very short and he had really gray hair. So, and this was a long time ago.
Really?
Yeah. I think he finally embraced his gray, but I think for a couple decades there he was dying.
I think it looks good on him.
Yeah,
I think it looks good on him.
Yeah,
so.
But back then maybe he was a little, young and whatnot.
Right.
Speaking of hair, I got my hair cut this week. Can you tell? I shaved it.
I did. I was just gonna say it looks really good.
Yeah, I went really short on the sides.
I like it though. Yeah. Are you happy with it?
Yeah, they kind of screwed up this one side. It's not, like this side should be a sharp line, and I said do a sharp line on this side, but it doesn't look as well.
Oh,
so.
they kind of goofed it.
Yeah, so I think it needed to
happens.
I think it needed to be blended over there. But you know what, dude? I don't really care. I'm just like, ugh, whatever.
Right, yeah, that is what it is.
So you saw this band. Oh, and you said it was exciting, right? Now you were mosh pitting and hitting people, and you don't.
So the first act, Black Country New Road, was kind of slower music. Their lead singer left the band this year, so they were kind of playing all new material.
Oh, you sound disappointed by them. You weren't happy with them.
No. They were fantastic. Isaac Wood will always have a special place in my heart because he was so good.
Yeah, I love.
It was like the music was different, but it wasn't worse. It was just different.
Okay.
They had some really great songs. Pigs was one of the
I love
best songs.
Pigs by Black.
What's Black Country New Road?
Gravel Road. I love.
There was
Pigs.
it was like it started with the piano player. All the band members sat down, and the piano player. It was just the piano player for like 5 minutes, just this beautiful melody, and for 5 more minutes they just built, and then the the drummer Charlie just went crazy. I mean, he was screaming, just it was just beautiful.
I probably would have gone to get drinks at that point. I would.
It was you would have really liked it actually. They are really fantastic.
They were good. Okay,
a treat to watch. And then
Black Middle Road came on, and
Black Midi came on. And that was moshing music.
And that was mosh.
Like
and then you were in a mosh
pit
pit
the whole time. Yeah.
You were just angry teen angst. Not even teen. You're 20 now, so you were just angry youth, young adult angst.
Yeah, it's just fun.
Aren't you afraid someone's going to knock out your teeth or something, though? I mean,
no.
It might not be on purpose, but you're not afraid someone's going to, what if someone hits you right in the face? I mean, and your eyes
It's not what it's like, though. It's mostly people just kind of keep their hands in front of them, so it's not a lot of, upward motions like that.
Yeah, but it just takes one asshole in the group. You know what I mean? Like, one guy goes just a little too far.
But I don't know. This wasn't the crowd for that. The pits were really great. Black Country New Road came out and moshed with us. It was awesome.
The opening act came out and moshed with you during the second band.
Yes.
So that's kind of like if John Legend opened for Adele, and then John Legend came out during Adele, and you guys were all moshing to Rolling in the Deep. Was it pretty much like that?
Yeah.
And
it was kind of like that. But I got to mosh with my celebrity crush, which is something that not a lot of people get to say. That was very cool.
Who's your celebrity crush?
Georgia Ellery.
George?
If Luke is watching this, he knows what I'm talking about. Georgia Ellery.
Georgia Ellery. She's a girl who's in the Black first band.
She's in Black Country New Road, and she's also in a band called Jockstrap.
Oh, of course she is, because that's classy.
She's amazing.
She's amazing, and she was moshing with you.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a conversation with her?
No, I didn't get to talk to her.
Oh.
The only one I talked to was Charlie, the drummer.
What does she look like in person? You know, sometimes you meet like a celebrity crush in person, and like for instance, I met Julia Roberts once, and always had a big crush on her ever since Mystic Pizza, and very pretty in person, but not the same. It was
she was like more attractive in person.
She was more attractive in person. Oh. Not that Julia Roberts is.
She was I just want you to know like this is like. I was like with her. Like it was just weird.
You were with her?
Just, looking down. Just looking down and being like, oh, like you're like I'm pressed up against you right now. Like, this is just so
look at you.
Out there.
Was it awkward? Did she like press against you, and then you were like, oh, geez, I'm starting to feel a little something, and then she's like, dude, you're gross.
No, it wasn't like that.
Wow, I'm like, this is disgusting.
It was just in the.
Save this for the after hours PGN show, Jackson. We don't need to hear about your mosh pit arousal time.
No, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that at all. It was more of just like we're all just like you're all just people who are just trying to have fun and enjoy the music.
And you didn't at any point feel like screaming like, "Hey, I got a huge crush on you. Can you want to go get a drink?" Or how old is she?
I would have never done that.
How old do you think?
I don't know. Not that much older than me, probably. I would guess 25.
So you had this is like you had a chance with your celebrity, and you didn't even make a move. You didn't.
No, I didn't.
Slip her a phone number or something, or like a little note, like check this box if you enjoy
She's 24.
moshing with me. She's 24.
Mm-hmm.
That's 4 years. That's 4 years older than you. That's
No, yeah, they're all super young. They're like they could have all been in my class, and I wouldn't have batted an eye.
Wow, you just blew it. You blew your opportunity.
No one wants to be that guy.
It's like sharing.
It's
like sharing.
It was funny too because I was like, there was the moment where I was like pressed up against her, and the piano player from the band was right behind her, and she kind of gave me a look like, "Don't try anything." And I did like I had like a this isn't on purpose. I just have people behind me, and my hands are in the air. Like I'm not forcing myself onto this person.
Wow, you really blew it.
What? I don't know what you want me to do.
It's like sharing a taxi with Jennifer Lawrence and not talking to her. Just like sitting, I mean...
No, it's not, because it's like loud music everywhere. I'm trying to not fall over and die.
Yeah, but that's when you make the eye contact and you're like,
no,
let's connect. We're connecting.
I'm not going to be that guy. I don't need to be that guy.
Wow. All right, well, when you wake up 20 years from now knowing you had your chance... at Georgia Satellite Line, what's her name from the
Georgia Ellery from Black Country New
Giant. Red. Yeah, well, exactly. All right, you blew it. Well, I'm glad you had fun. Yeah, there you have it. I was supposed to take you to a concert this month. We were supposed to go see.
You were.
Yeah, we were supposed to go see Foo Fighters this month, but
yeah, sad.
We know that story. That did not happen. Although the tribute concert to Taylor. Have you been watching the clips? So cool.
Oh, just incredible. Yeah. Just incredible.
Very, very cool. It's the PGN podcast. Father-son talking movies, and obviously...
By the way, take it away briefly, because it just occurred to me that I only have 2 trivia facts, and I didn't get my third.
Oh,
so
look at you.
Take it away real quick.
Oh, so
while I go searching.
Wow. First off, I guess spoiler alert. Yeah, we will be playing trivia again here. Towards the end of the show, we pull that every once in a while. We go head to head. We try to stump the other one, but we don't make it too hard because there's not even point to it. I will let you know while you're desperately looking for a third trivia question because once again you're unprepared for the show.
Wow.
I wrapped up season 3 of The Boys on Prime.
Oh yeah. What'd you think?
Really good.
Really good, right? That ending was really good.
Much better than season 2.
Agreed 100%.
Yeah, I thought season 2 kind of lagged a little bit. I didn't care for that villain girl that kind of teamed up with Homelander, who plays a small part in this one because she's like a burn victim in a bed. But for those who don't know, The Boys is kind of that anti-superhero show on Amazon Prime, and it's very obvious. The one thing I will say about the show is you can tell that I can almost see the writer's room where they sit down for the new season and they go, okay, how are we going to shock them this week? What graphic?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, what is the most disgusting, bloody, sexual, crazy thing we could do? I mean, right off the bat, that scene with that little Ant-Man dude and that guy's penis was just hilarious and so disgusting. But I really liked it. I thought it was a lot better. And yeah, I remember you telling me like Homelander is just exceptional this season, and he is. I forget the actor's name.
He is so good, especially the ending. I'm not going to spoil it because it's kind of in that territory, but like, just he really is that character.
Yeah. He's very, very good. I was a little concerned that they were adding the element this season of some of the boys, the regular humans, being able to get superpowers. I was like, now it's just going to be... But I thought they did an okay thing with it. I thought it was an okay job. I was just afraid everyone was going to be a super... Because I've always loved the fact that the show was like real human beings trying to stop these, Superman and Wonder Woman and Aquaman types. And then I was like, well, if they have superpowers, it's just another Marvel show. But no, kudos, The Boys. If you haven't jumped on board yet, season 1's phenomenal, still the best.
It is still the best season in my opinion.
But 3 is a close second. And it is it's kind of coming out of the summer doldrums. We're starting to gear up for Oscar season. Not a lot of huge films opening right now. But the big one this week is the one that everyone's been talking about the last month or so, not because of the film itself, but because of all of the shenanigans and drama behind the scene. Director Olivia Wilde's new movie, Don't Worry, Darling. If you've been living in a cave, there's been a lot of negative press that Olivia Wilde fired her original lead man, Shia LaBeouf, claiming that he is acting inappropriately on set.
Yeah.
Florence Pugh, his co-star, came out and vehemently said that is not true. That they were working together wonderfully. But surprise, surprise, Shia LaBeouf was replaced by Olivia Wilde's boyfriend, One Direction lead singer Harry Styles. The movie stars Olivia Wilde herself in a supporting role, Florence Pugh, who some people would know from either Little Women or Midsommar. She's kind of the it girl right now. She was in Black Widow. Harry Styles, of course, plays her husband, and then Chris Pine of Star Trek fame, Captain Kirk and Wonder Woman and all that. He is the, I don't think I'm giving away anything if you've seen the trailer, the villain, if we will, of the film. The movie is incredibly cinematic. It's shot beautifully. I think Olivia Wilde is a talent behind the camera. She did a movie a couple years ago, the comedy, is it Booksmart, I believe? The Booksmart,
which you saw and loved. I did not see.
I absolutely loved it. Hilarious film. You can tell she's very, very good with actors. Once again, that's the case here in Don't Worry, Darling. And we do get to see at least she knows how to bring on a good DP because the film looks beautiful. The color scheme is very bright when it needs to be bright and dark when it needs to be dark. And that, with the exception of the performances, is kind of where it ends for me. Jackson, thoughts on Don't Worry, Darling?
I honestly, I don't know where to start. This movie has issues. A lot of issues.
It does.
I couldn't. In the theater. I saw this in the theater. Obviously, I could not have walked. I could not have left sooner. Like it just. I wanted to leave. The pacing was so unbelievably screwed. Where it was like go. Nothing happens for an hour and a half. Get the last little bit for the ending.
Right.
Horrible directing. Horrible acting.
Really?
I think.
Wow.
The acting. Well, besides Florence Pugh, who carried this film, I thought Olivia Wilde's acting was just embarrassing.
Wow.
Same thing with Harry Styles.
Harry, I would agree with you. Harry was not very good in this film. I disagree with you on Olivia Wilde, though. I thought she was very good. I thought Chris Pine was very good. And
I thought Chris Pine was doing a really good Philip Seymour Hoffman impression from The Master. That's what I thought. I thought that I'd seen that character before. I also think that once the twist happens, that to the end is laughable. Like I was literally like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I also think that Olivia Wilde is trying really, really hard to do a Jordan Peele movie, and it just did not. That was everything from the score to the way it was shot to the twist. It just felt like she was trying to do a Jordan Peele movie, and it didn't work at all. I really had so many issues with this movie.
Right.
Its saving grace was Florence Pugh, and I think the cinematography was very good.
Yeah.
That was the saving grace for me.
I did not love the film, but I certainly did not have the same visceral feelings as you did. It held my attention. I agree with you. The comparison has been made that this feels like an episode of The Twilight Zone or maybe even Black Mirror, just really stretched out. Like this whole story could have been told in 25 minutes.
Absolutely, yeah.
It absolutely does drag at times. I do agree with you. Harry Styles is not great in this film, but I thought everyone else was very good. I actually thought Olivia Wilde pretty good as a director. I thought that she didn't get too crazy with the camera stuff, and I thought when it did get a little trickery, it kind of added to it. Listen, it's not doing well. The critics are tearing it up. I went in with low expectations. I guess the best thing I can say is it held my interest. I didn't feel the need to leave. I didn't feel like it completely outstayed its welcome. I feel like it just kind of went in circles for a while. but the performances held me. So it's a film that I could see where people would easily just rail on it, but I enjoyed aspects of it. It was also one of those films too, and we can't give away the big twist. And if you haven't heard by now, I mean, if you've seen the trailer, you know that something's not right with this quote world that they're living in. How do I say? There are obvious comparisons to other films. Like if you've read anything, you could say there's some Truman Show aspects to this. There's even some Matrix aspects to this. So a lot of it felt like familiar ground to me. I kind of feel like I've seen this film before. That gets a bit, but you know, it held me. I would love to say that everything went off the rails, because it's always fun to kind of jump on the train, but I don't know. Yeah, is there stuff that still doesn't make sense to me? Did I have to go online afterwards and watch a few of those explanation videos to go, oh, that's what the red plane meant? Or what's with the dancing girls in the, there's some of it that I'm completely 100% sure what's going on there. But I think it's a just slightly below average film. I give Don't Worry Darling a C-. I didn't think it was horrible, just not very good.
I really didn't like it. On top of the fact that anytime I just hear that a production goes as wrong as this one did, I just can't stand that. I cannot begin to explain to you the problems that I have with Olivia Wilde casting Harry Styles in this film. It just seems it's such favoritism, and he was just, it's not even like a David Bowie situation where you can go, oh yeah, well, I mean, they are a famous person, but at least they can act well. He can't act for shit. It's literally, I'm watching him go, just drown in this production, and watch Florence Pugh just act circles around him the entire movie. I saw some review, so someone put on Letterboxd, where they said that Olivia Wilde and Alex Garland are like their Nightmare Blunt rotation. Alex Garland being the guy who did Men this year, and I can't agree more. I think that those are two of the worst films to come out of this year. I'm gonna give Don't Worry Darling a 2 out of 10.
Wow, so
because it's not Men.
Yeah, because it's not Men, and Men gets a 1.
Yeah, I just don't.
Did you see it with anyone?
No, I saw it by I couldn't. Everyone was busy.
What was your audience like? My audience, I had audible laughter during some of the scenes that I know were not supposed to elicit laughter.
It wasn't like that. It was a very quiet crowd, but I personally was like, there's a lot of moments where I was like, you guys seeing this shit? Like, I had a couple of times where I was just like looking around, like, I wonder how people are thinking about this. I was way in the back though, so I didn't really have a good view of what was happening. Everything after the twist happens, I just couldn't. It was just ridiculous to me. It just felt so cheesy, really lazy twist, I thought.
Yeah. Is this based on something? Is this a young Jackson? Is there any research you can do? Do you know if this is?
It's not. No, it's not. She said in an interview that her biggest inspirations for this movie, film-wise, were Inception and The Truman Show.
Yeah. Well, obviously there's some Truman Show aspects,
which are two phenomenal movies.
Yeah.
That are leagues above this.
Yeah.
Which is funny to me. I just really I don't know. This movie just pisses me off in general. Just the overall vibe of it, the stories that are coming out of it. I just don't like any.
You have to learn to separate the process from the end result, though.
But I'm going to school to learn how to not do that, which is
I
the
understand,
point, which is why we're paying.
But you have.
But also, regardless of that, I still think that this was just a bad movie. Like, I just don't.
Yeah.
It wasn't good to me. I didn't like any part of it. Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Jackson, a very, very harsh critique of Don't Worry Darling. I'm certainly not going to recommend the film, but I didn't hate it. I thought it was just a slightly below average film. I thought Florence Pugh was fantastic. That girl can act.
She was. She can act very well.
Sometimes a really, really good performance is enough to hold my interest, and in this case, it did. So while Jackson wanted to leave the theater, I just wanted to mute Harry Styles. And what was with that dancing scene? That was the weirdest. I didn't.
Yeah, what was that? It was like he's I was like, what is going on?
He got a promotion, so I guess part of when you get a promotion, you dance like an idiot for like 15 minutes.
Dumbass.
That didn't make any sense to me. And then when you find out what this world is and what's really going on, then I'm like, what? A lot of it was way over my head, but
it felt, especially, I also didn't understand why there were so many dancers involved in, like, you know what I'm talking about? Like the weird dream sequences with the dancers in a circle. I didn't really get how that tied into the rest of it.
I never quite understood that. I did read an interesting thing, though, we won't go on and on about this film, but I don't know if you caught this. Did you notice that there's several sex scenes in the film between Harry Styles and Florence Pugh? Did you notice that they never had intercourse in any of those sex scenes?
I mean, I guess I did. I don't know if that...
Well, there's theories behind that. Like, how come in this world he never actually has intercourse with her? And it has to do with, like, his guilt.
Well, I think I just implied that it came after whatever they were doing, but...
Nope. Research it. I can't get into it, but there's a whole theory on why that doesn't happen either. And you know what? Don't, because it's probably not even worth it. Yeah. Can you hear Professor and Marianne barking at something?
I can, yeah.
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah, they miss you. They're just wondering. To be honest with you, they're in your bedroom right now just tearing the shit out of your sheets.
Just tearing it up?
Yeah,
oh, jeez.
It's like their playroom
Oh,
now.
Jeez.
Go ahead.
Before we get anything else, I would like to do my little art house.
Oh, da-da-da. It's the cue. It's the music we don't have for Jackson's pretentious art house corner. This is the time where Jackson gets to tell us some film you've never heard of and will never, ever hear of again or ever see, but he saw this week, and it's now his favorite film of all time. Jackson, take it away.
Okay, so the first one we have here is a movie called I, Daniel Blake, directed by Ken Loach. He's a British director. I don't know if you'd have known him from anything, but
I think I've heard of him. I don't think I've heard of that film.
Really, really good story about an older British gentleman who has a heart attack and can no longer work, and kind of his struggle to get through the system of unemployment in England.
How did you stumble upon this film, or was this an assignment for one of your classes as a film major in college?
So I do watch the Criterion YouTube channel does a lot of videos where they have filmmakers come in and talk about like the movies that they have in their selection, and I heard a lot of people talking about this one. Okay. I've also heard the Ken Loach be mentioned a lot with Mike Leigh, and I can see why, because they're both British and do a lot of like working class stories.
Right.
And this was just a really, really, really good movie. Mm-hmm. Incredibly sad and depressing, but a killer ending, a great performance from the guy who played Daniel Blake, a guy named Dave Johns. Just overall, just really solid movie. I highly recommend it if you're at all interested in British cinema.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I give I, Daniel Blake a 9 out of 10. Great movie.
Are you ever going to see a pretentious art house film that you don't give either a 9 or a 10?
I am.
Oh,
that's actually what's happening next.
Oh, we're not done. All right.
The next movie that I saw was a movie called Repo Man.
It is hold on. The original Repo Man?
The one with directed by Alex Cox?
With Emilio Estevez?
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen Repo Man.
Uh-huh.
Deep breath here. That's a classic.
It is... Look, I didn't like it or dislike it. It just kind of came and went to me. I was a little bit... I will say, the performances were awesome. I loved Harry Dean Stanton in it.
Yeah, Harry Dean.
He's always great to watch.
He's awesome.
Emilio Estevez was great. Everyone else was kind of a little bit over, like, you know, it had that kind of classic 80s over the top acting.
Right. That's like the punk rock anarchist film of the 80s. That's like the like if Ferris Bueller is like the everyone movie, it's like Repo Man was the punk rock of film at that time.
Okay, I can see that. Well, first of all, I will say I really do love the little tagline they have for it, where the tagline is,
I don't remember.
"It's 4 a.m. Do you know where your car is?"
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that so
hilarious.
much.
But overall, you didn't like it.
No, I just wasn't that. I don't know. It kind of lost me a little bit. I don't know.
Now, what made you?
It was a really interesting concept.
What made you decide to watch Repo Man?
I've just heard it be mentioned a lot.
Yeah.
Just Repo Man. You know, it's one of those movies that I've heard the title be said a lot. I just had no idea what it was about.
Now, I will justify this in that I have not seen Repo Man in 30 years. I do remember.
It has aged very poorly, I will say.
Yeah.
It's very, but you're gonna hate me. I'm gonna give Repo Man a 5 out of 10, just because I'm impartial on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just impartial on it.
That sounds non-committal.
So that was it.
Do you know they remade Repo Man? I think in the 90s.
They did,
but they made it as a sci-fi like action drama film. I think it was what's his name? It's the British guy who was in The Talented Mr. Ripley with Matt Damon.
I never saw that. I couldn't tell you.
Okay, look it up real quick because that's going to drive me crazy.
It was
Repo Man. It was, what's his name? The British guy. He was in Road to Perdition. Oh, for the love of God!
I'm finding it.
Yeah, I'm
looking it up right now.
You look it up. It's easier for you to do. But yeah, I remember it
was called a Repo Men.
Repo Men, and who was in it? But it was like a sci-fi thing. It was like they were repossessing hearts or something. I think that's what it was. Like suddenly they were repossessing
Jude Law.
What? Yeah, Jude Law. That's it.
And Forrest Whitaker. Yeah. Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, it was horrible.
This looks horrible. Yeah.
It was horrible. It was nothing like the first one. All right, go ahead. I sense there was another film here. You gave.
There is one more. It isn't an art house one. My girlfriend made me watch this with her. It's actually funny that I watched this week because it's incredibly similar to the movie of the week, which we'll get to in a second. It's a rom-com called Me Before You. It stars Emilia Clarke and Sam Claflin.
Oh my God! You got dragged into this.
Yeah,
it sounds like a Netflixy thing. Was it a Netflix film?
It wasn't. It was pre-Netflix, but it was the same wavelength.
Oh boy!
It's about a guy who gets paralyzed and falls in love with his caretaker.
Oh,
so it was like almost the same movie as the one we watched, but just kind of like with the twist of the romance twist. Kind of a props are due. They definitely had a more realistic ending.
Emilia Clarke is from Game of Thrones, right? She's
Game of Thrones, and she was also in Solo. But yeah, it was.
Does she get to be British in this, or does she have to put on?
She is British. They're both British in this.
Okay.
He's kind of a it's a lot like the Untouchables, where it's like wealthy British guy,
right?
Lower class working girl. Looking for a job. She takes her underneath her wing, and they both kind of change each other for the better, type deal. It was fine.
What did your girlfriend think of it?
It's one of her favorite movies. That's why she played it.
Oh no! So she'd already seen it. So this was like one of those.
Yeah, she'd already seen it.
This is one of those things where she's like, "I want to show you my favorite film," and then
it wasn't that, because she does have good taste, but I think she's actually pissed at you for never showing me rom-coms when I was growing up, which I'm glad for, frankly. So she's kind of doing like watching all the classics, as she says, that I missed.
Wow. She's mad that I didn't show you like Sleepless in Seattle and Pretty Woman.
Yep.
Maybe because I wanted you to be a man.
No, I was literally like no one, like no, I just would have never had a reason to see any of these movies ever.
Really? Yeah.
Okay.
Huh. Okay. Well, now I feel bad. I feel like maybe I neglected your childhood in some way.
Please don't feel bad. This was I would have chosen the movies that I have seen over.
Anyone, please leave comments on our YouTube. Name some really great romantic comedies that I should have shown my son growing up. And we'll take the top 40 and we'll make him watch those 40.
The top 40. That's a lot. That's a
Well,
big
I
number.
think the
That
best
is a big
40
number.
romantic comedies. So just start throwing all of them out there. Anything with Matthew McConaughey or, something cute with Meg Ryan. Whatever it is, we'll take
We'll
great
take it.
romantic.
Whatever it is, we'll take it.
Speaking of romantic comedies, we may be seeing one next week. That'll be coming up a little bit later in the show.
Jeez.
We'll discuss that. But in the meantime, speaking of audiences, by the way, any more art house? Was that it for you? Just 3 pretentious ones this week? That's it, huh?
2 pretentious ones. Well, I guess one of them was pretentious, and there's Repo Man and whatever the
romantic
fuck Me Before You was.
There's already trouble in paradise over movies. What's the Netflix one? They made like 50 of them now. The Kissing Booth. Is she into the Kissing Booth movies?
She hasn't mentioned them.
I want to know. Today, I want you to pull her aside and said, my dad wants to know if you enjoy the Kissing Booth movies on Netflix.
Okay.
And she has to be honest.
Okay.
And report back to me next week on your girlfriend's,
I'll report back,
girlfriend's take on the Kissing Booth movies. We have a part of our show where we turn to you, the audience, and we ask you to select a classic movie or a well-received movie at the very least that you think we have not seen, as well as a horrible one. Last week it was time for a classic. We had not selected one before we went off the air, but shortly after, I went back to the list of things that you guys have been nice to send in and picked our first French film.
I believe it was, yeah.
Yeah, I know Jackson's got, and there's actually a weird connection. One of Jackson's favorite French movies is a movie called La Haine. There's actually kind of a weird connection. I mean, it's one of those Kevin Bacon 6 Degrees on this film. Our suggestion came from a friend of mine, Susan Gratasevic, who lived in France for several years and loved the movie that was a huge, huge hit in Europe called The Intouchables. Les Intouchables or Intouchables. I don't have a French accent.
Intouchables.
It was a massive hit overseas. It was directed by Oliver Nakachi and Eric Toledano, who both just recently, their newest film that they wrote and directed is called The Specials. That stars a actor by the name of Vincent Cassel.
I love him so much.
I
love him so much.
Who starred in one of Jackson's favorite films of all time, La Haine. But this was their first big hit as filmmakers. It stars Francois Cluzet, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, as Philippe, a older gentleman who is a quadriplegic after a paragliding accident, and Omar Sy, a very, very tall African-American French actor who plays Driss, the recently paroled, down on his luck young man who, by coincidence, ends up becoming Philippe's caretaker. This movie was a massive hit in Europe, which means only one thing. That means the United States will remake that film.
What do you think about that?
It's for some reason studios think that Americans won't see foreign films, with subtitles. So they're afraid to just go, let's buy the rights to The Intouchables and show it here and see if it's a big hit. They go, no, we have to remake the film with familiar names in English, tell the same story, shoot it the same way, and then it could be a big hit. And I don't think what they realize is the thing that made the original so popular is maybe because it was most appropriate in that language, with those actors, with that sensibility. Yeah. It's the same art, but sometimes it works. You take a show like Ricky Gervais' The Office, you make it American, you put in Steve Carell, and you have a just as big of a hit. So many films have worked that way, and so many have not. I know that two very talented gentlemen that I know, Nat Faxon and Jim Rash, Oscar winners they remade a huge movie from Sweden called Force Majeure, but they turned it into a film here. It was a massive hit over there, but they turned it into a film here called Downhill with Will Ferrell and Julie Louis-Dreyfus, and it just didn't translate, and it didn't tank. In fact, that guy has a new movie coming out I'll talk about when we talk about. I want to talk to you about trailers that I think looks really funny.
Right, yeah.
But anyways, I don't know. They just don't seem to have the faith in to go, let's just show The Untouchables here and see if people go see this movie with subtitles. I mean, Parasite was a huge hit. They trusted that. But, But could you imagine if they took the same story of Parasite and then redid it here in the U.S. and it would never just wouldn't work. So with that said, The Untouchables was made into a movie here in the U.S. It was called The Upside. It was Bryan Cranston and Kevin Hart. Came out a couple years ago. Did not do well. I think it got very mid reviews. But it came and went at the theaters really well. I actually want to kind of watch it now just to see what it is in comparison. I never saw it. Your mother saw it. She said it was kind of mid. It was fine.
Right.
But this was The Untouchables. If anyone has seen The Upside, you know the story. It is a very light comedy drama. It's interesting because this is not an art film. You know, you think of French film and you think of this is a very commercial, it feels very Hollywood story-wise film, and it's very interesting to see a movie come out of Europe that feels like a Hollywood sensibility, like a feel-good kind of romantic buddy comedy, fish out of water thing. Right. I enjoyed it, but I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, so I think that when I was very happy with how this movie finished. I think that a lot of times when you dabble in this kind of like, disabled person needs help stories, a lot of times it becomes like a Rain Man situation where, the movie becomes about the person that's helping them as opposed to the actual, person that's disabled. I think this movie did a good job of avoiding that. Mm-hmm. I think that both these characters grew from their relationship together, and I appreciated that about it a lot. It wasn't just like, I got this guy out of the hood, one of those dumb stories. It was actually like...
it wasn't the white man saving the African American from the inner city, and it wasn't necessarily the, good-hearted African American teaching the rich guy how to understand my culture a little bit. I feel like it didn't really fall into those stereotypes.
And I also think that the performances in this were amazing. I loved the characters. I think they're both extremely likable for different reasons.
Yeah.
They each had their flaws, but I think that that's what made them so likable, was that despite that, they still kind of came together and had this great relationship. And the fact that it's based off a true story also is just very heartwarming to me too.
Yeah.
I don't think this was, incredible. This wasn't some kind of mind-blowing film, but I definitely think this was a solid story with really fun and likable characters that I enjoyed watching a lot.
Yeah. Are you curious to see Kevin Hart and Bryan Cranston in this
I kept that in the back of my head.
It was hard. It was hard not to. It was very hard for me at times to go, is this guy doing a Kevin Hart impersonation? But then I have to remember, no, this film got made before Kevin Hart,
It was almost the opposite, where I was having a hard time picturing Kevin Hart in that role.
Right.
I think that he's a little too goofy. I think to be playing kind of such a complicated character. I haven't seen Kevin Hart do any serious acting, and this definitely had moments like that.
Yeah.
So I feel like the remake is probably going to be a lot more comedic. Maybe a little less complex, I guess, as this was. But I mean, I'm not going to diss it. I haven't seen it, so
yeah. I might watch it.
But it was interesting.
Yeah, I might watch it.
Yeah, why not?
Just to, I'm be very curious. I'll be curious to see if they change the story at all. Be curious to see what aspects they kept or added to or changed. But I agree with you almost completely on this. I think I really, really love the guy who played Driss. Omar.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah, he was funny when he had to be funny, and everything felt genuine, you know? Like, even when I could say it was kind of like a comic bit, you know, it's like he almost was tongue-in-cheek with himself. He was always in on the joke, you know? It was never like that. What do you guys do? You know, what you eating? You eating caviar?
Yeah, no.
What is that? Fish eggs?
I couldn't picture it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like he truly didn't. You know, like I'll give you an example. I think that there's a scene in the film where they both go paragliding. Obviously, assisted paragliding, where they're strapped to someone else. And Philippe has obviously done this many times. It's a very tender moment for him because this is how he lost, you know, the use of his body is a paragliding accident. And then Driss is just terrified because he's never been up and doing this. And obviously there's some reaction from Driss, you know, some screaming and like, hell no. And, you know, like, and then you really do genuinely see that turn into excitement of being up there. Like, this is actually the coolest thing I've ever done. I just keep thinking if that's Kevin Hart, it's going to be like way over the top. Like,
yeah, it's too much.
What the hell? Black people don't belong up here. It's going to have some stereotypical race joke or something. Or I don't know. I could be wrong. I haven't seen it. I just, in the back of my head, I kept thinking Kevin Hart's going to turn this into a bit more than a tender kind of sweet moment. I hope I'm wrong.
I think I speak for both of us too when I say that, like, both of us are kind of not big on Kevin Hart.
No.
And his comedy.
Yeah.
It's not for me. It's a little bit too. It relies too heavily on funny faces and voices. So
yeah. But you know what? Maybe I'll see it this week and I'll let you know. But Susan loves this film. I mean, and I don't know maybe if it's it's French and maybe it's something that hit her closer. I thought it was a very good film. I don't know if I'd put it up there as a classic. I would love to see more work by both of these guys. I'd be very curious to see what else they've done. But The Untouchables for me gets a solid, it's not a slam, a very solid B-.
Okay, yeah, and I'm going to go with a 7 out of 10 on this. So about the same.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. I just don't think it was like, you know.
Right.
In my face crazy good type thing happening, you know. Okay,
very good. So that's what we do here at the PGM podcast is you guys suggest a film, and I would say that was a good suggestion. Maybe not a Susan,
it was a good suggestion.
It was a good suggestion. And you know, maybe we need sometimes people when they go classic films, it ends up being something really heavy-handed or it was nice to have something that was kind of light and I'm not saying you had to check your brain at the door, but you didn't feel like it was just this emotional weight on you the entire time. With that said, it does have some very tender, sweet moments.
Yeah, for sure.
Which means next week we're going to watch a horrible film. This is what I love. I love the fact that I know my son, so I know when he hasn't seen shit. So I can just go ahead and say that's a really good shitty film that I never saw. There was a classic movie back in the 70s. And I'm picking this one this week. Charlie, I have to look up. Charlie something suggested it. I'll find out, Charlie, before next week when we talk about it. There was a film back in the 70s that was kind of a cult hit, maybe a small blockbuster hit, and I thought this would be good because we did lose James Caan this year. The name of the film was Rollerball. It was kind of a futuristic movie about rollerball being a sport. And I actually saw that film, so I cannot pick Rollerball by James Caan. It has to be a film that neither one of us have seen. However, they remade Rollerball in the late 90s. Jackson, look it up for me.
It was 2002.
2002 with
year I was born.
With Chris. I can't think of his name. He was in the American.
Chris
Klein, who disappeared very quickly after the American. He was going to be the next.
And LL Cool J.
Yes, and LL Cool. This where Rollerball, this new futuristic deadly sport, has taken over. That I never saw, and I don't think many people did. That sounds like a very horrible film. It sounds like something that deserves our attention. So next week, Rollerball, but not the original. So any of you James Caan fans,
remake,
maybe.
Sorry to
if this is so good, maybe we'll go back and see that one as well. But we're gonna check out LL Cool J. Jackson, is it safe to say you have not seen that?
No,
No,
I have not. I have not seen the James Caan classic Rollerball.
You have not. So Rollerball next week. Also new in the theaters. Maybe we'll see both. If we have to see one, I think the debate starts here, Jackson. 2 new films opening next weekend. The horror movie Smile, having to do with some demon that possesses people and makes them smile. That's about all I take from it. The movie on Rotten Tomatoes is tracking okay. It's getting 70s, I think, from critics. Yeah. The next film is tracking at a 95 from critics. Great reviews. It is a romantic comedy, and it's from Billy Eichner. It is the movie Bros, the gay romantic comedy. I have to be honest with you, the trailer does nothing for me.
It doesn't. It's not my kind of comedy.
I do like Billy Eichner. I loved Billy on the Streets. I thought that
Billy on the Streets awesome.
Is hilarious. But the critics are saying that this is the comeback of the rom-com. Which, Jackson, if you want to maybe with this girl here, impress her, this might be the week to take her to a rom-com.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't know if you want to commit to one of those two. I'm going to try to see both. But I will let you know that I know you're very pressed on time. I will let you pick whichever one. If you see both, great. But if not, you have that choice. If you're in the mood for a horror film, or if you want to drag your girlfriend who forced you to watch Kissing Booth 5 or whatever.
Me Before You.
Maybe go see Bros. I don't know. Maybe sometimes trailers are misleading. I don't know. But we'll be back next week with Smile and Bros and the classic 2002 movie Rollerball, suggested by you guys. That's what we do. Hey, trailers. Speaking of upcoming movies, thoughts on? First off, I'm just dying to see The Menu. That is my new. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see The Menu. That's the movie directed by Mark Mylod, who is the executive producer and main director of Succession on HBO. That's that crazy movie with Ralph Fiennes bringing a bunch of people to an island. I'm not sure what it's about, and I don't want to know. It just looks really good.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you seen the? We talked about it. The Swedish guy Ruben Östlund. Have you seen the trailer for Triangle of Sadness?
No, I still haven't.
The rich people on the boat.
No.
That one, check it out. Go and check out that trailer. It's Woody Harrelson's the only American actor in it. The rest are all Swedish, I believe. But that looks really crazy and dark and funny. But the one I wanted to ask you about, we mentioned it through text briefly, is the premiere of the new M. Night Shyamalan trailer, Knock at the Cabin. What's going on
so
there?
So sick of him.
What the hell?
I'm so sick of him.
Are we ready for another M. Night? How many more times are we going to give M. Night Shyamalan a chance? Did you see Old? The one where everyone gets old on the beach?
Did you see Old?
Yeah, it was horrible. It was
Everyone
bad.
said it was the worst thing ever. Yeah.
It was bad.
It looked so bad.
I mean, how many more crappy films are we? Glass was really bad. He just took that whole Unbreakable trilogy and just killed it. Last Airbender.
Oh my God! What he did to The Last Airbender is unforgivable, because I love that show. Like the fact that he messed that up is crazy.
Yeah. Well, if you haven't seen it, audience, go online. It's called Knock at the Cabin. Tell us what you think about it. Dave Bautista and Jonathan Graff and what's his name from Harry Potter, the redheaded dude, and it looks weird. I mean, obviously it's weird. It's M. Night Shyamalan, but did anything about that trailer look interesting to you? Like a gay couple with an Asian baby in a cabin, and then suddenly 4 strangers show up and tell them that they have to make a choice to stop the apocalypse. I'm like, what the hell?
I'm done with him, man. You know what though? On the topic of trailers, Tar is
you saw the
good.
extended trailer,
Yes.
right?
I could not be more excited.
I knew you would be, because you know why? It makes no sense.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Which
is good, because
right.
that's what you want from a trailer. I think people are too used to trailers just being like, this is what the movie's about.
Right.
Like,
No, I get
just
it.
show me some pretty shots, and I'm happy.
Right.
And that's what I got.
But that's what happened.
shots.
That's what happened with 3,000 Years of Longing, and we all know how
That is true, and that blew.
And that turned out.
Yeah, listen, I'm excited for it, and I also, I'm just very excited for it. It looks unbelievable. So.
All right, so you're excited for Tar. I'm excited for The Menu, and I think you should check out Triangle of Sadness. I think that's, and then we're both excited for the new M. Night Shyamalan one, because it's David.
Oh, he could not be more excited.
It's David Bautista.
Yeah.
Who actually is not a bad actor.
No, not at all.
You know what he was really good in was the Blade Runner sequel.
I was just gonna say that he was so good in that.
That opening scene with him, and I think
the tension is so good.
For what it's worth, Guardians of the Galaxy, I think he does that role really well. Now,
Agreed.
now he's done some other crap too, like Stuber and stuff where they put him with cute babies.
Was Guardians of the Galaxy his big break?
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing much of him before that. Yeah.
I don't think he'd done anything. Maybe he was like
Gotcha.
a heavy in a few things. Yeah.
Right.
And are you excited for another Guardians of the Galaxy volume? Is that something you're...
I'm so marveled out. I'm so marveled out.
I know. Black Panther's next. So...
I'll see it.
No Woman, No Cry. Yeah.
Yeah.
PGN podcast. Oh, also, I can't believe I forgot this. So next week, Smile and Bros, plus your choice for a horrible film, Rollerball, and our first ever top 10 list.
Yep.
Did we do top 10 or top 5? I think we said top 10.
It was top 10.
Yeah.
Top 10 movies that made your childhood, I believe.
Yeah, that
was the
molded
prompt.
your love for film as a child. So up to the age of 18. So the 10 movies that influenced your love of movies, or influenced you, just had an effect on you. So we will have that. I will have my list, and I'll have Jackson. So we got a packed show next week. We got all kinds.
We
of
do.
stuff. But this week, however, it's time for another round of
trivia.
We really got to talk to a composer about some songs. We have to
we gotta get someone in on this. Yeah.
Yeah, some trivia. Get one of your buddies. Someone say, listen, we need a 10-second PGN podcast trivia with Jackson and Regan. Just something. Someone's
right.
got
Something to fill the space.
All right. Tell them I will give them a crisp $10 if they can come up with a theme for our trivia. We played trivia twice before. Jackson comes up with 3 questions. I come up with 3 questions. And whoever gets the most...
I want you to go first this time.
Oh, no. Okay.
I want you to ask the first question
I'd be glad to. Why? Because you're still trying to find a third one because you completely dropped the ball?
I have all 3.
Oh, look
I
at
have all
you.
3.
Well, I always try to find trivia questions or come up with ones based on things that are happening right now or things that Jackson and I have been talking about recently. We both loved last week David Bowie's Music Odyssey film, Moon Age Daydream. So it got me thinking about music and music documentaries. And I now present to you, Jackson, question number 1 on our trivia. The following 4 films... Michael Jackson's This Is It, One Direction's This Is Us, Madonna's Truth or Dare, and Justin Bieber's Never Say Never are the top 4 music documentaries of all time. Which one is number 1?
Okay, top of all time based on money made or
box
just like
office?
ratings?
Most money at the
gotcha.
box office. Biggest box office hits. Is it Michael Jackson's?
Can you give me the artists' names again?
Michael Jackson's This Is It, One Direction's This Is Us, Madonna's Truth or Dare, or Justin Bieber's Never Say Never? What is the top grossing music documentary in box office of all time? Those are the top 4. Which of those is number 1?
Okay. Right now for me it's going to be between the One Direction and Justin Bieber. I think that those really bring in the the big bucks.
Right. Okay.
Lot of girls bringing their families and stuff.
Right.
Ooh, that's tough. I feel like for this one I'm gonna go with This Is Us because I feel like I remember that coming out and it being a really big thing. I also remember the Justin Bieber one coming out and being like that was a big thing, but This Is Us, like, I don't know, for some reason that had like a bigger memory for me.
Is that your final?
So I'm gonna go with I think I'm gonna go with This Is Us. Yeah,
This Is Us. One Direction. The actual correct answer was so big that it inspired a mockumentary by Adam Sandberg of almost the same name, pop star. Never Say Never Again, I think it was called. Sorry, Jackson. The correct answer is Justin Bieber's. You were on the right track. Never Say Never. With that said, though, One Direction, This Is Us is number 2. So
I was so close. I knew it was going to be between those two.
You were close, yeah. Justin Bieber's Never Say Never. And just a quick note: if anyone ever picks that as the film that we should watch as a suggestion of worst film ever, fuck you. Not happening.
I've seen that. I've
seen
it.
Never Say Never. How did you?
We watched it together.
No, we did not watch Never Say Never.
Yes, we did. As a family, we watched it because you were playing it with Killian, and you were like, "You should watch this because you want to do music at some point."
Are you
and I was
serious?
like, "What the hell are you making me do right now? You did that to me."
I have no memory of that.
You did. Well,
I think you dreamt
okay.
That. I would not have watched Justin Bieber's.
No,
Never
it
Say
wasn't.
Never.
It was Katy Perry. It was the Katy Perry documentary. That's what it was.
Yes, the Katy Perry I might have. I did not watch. Wait a minute. I'm getting notes from the producer. We watched Justin Bieber's Never Say Never.
You made all 4 of us watch it because you thought Killian wanted to see it.
Jackson says it was the Katy Perry one.
You watched the Katy Perry one with Killian alone. You made all 4 of us watch it.
Maybe we watched both. I'm not sure, but
I'm getting word from the producer that I did force you guys to watch Never Say Never.
Oh yeah, I know because I had to watch it.
Oh, that explains so much of the way you turned out.
So who is that supposed to be? You were the one that made me watch it.
I don't
That's
remember
so messed up.
Oh,
why did you do that? Why did you?
I'm so sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. Were those my drinking years? I don't know.
They were right in the middle of them.
That was my heavy drinking years.
Wow,
I had no idea. Okay. Well, geez, you saw it and you still didn't pick it. Jackson, you're 0 for 1. What do you got for me, son?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which of these?
Oh boy, it's multiple choice. Thank God.
1994 releases.
1994 releases. Okay.
Was the first movie to use the internet for advertising? Was it?
Whoa, hold on. It was the first movie that advertised on the internet, or it's the first movie that during the course of the movie they showed the internet?
No, you did advertise through the internet.
Okay, so like on AOL or something. Okay.
Yes.
This movie advertised on the internet. Okay, go ahead.
Was it
A.
Pulp Fiction? B. Leon the Professional?
Definitely not that.
C. Brain Scan? Or D. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein? That was the movie that they did that was true to the book.
Yeah, right. That was Robert De Niro and Kenneth Branagh. Now, my first instinct is Brain Scan because I've never heard of that. The other ones were big films. I mean, you're talking about Pulp Fiction, Robert De Niro, Kenneth Branagh, and Frankenstein. What was the other one? There was a...
Leon the Professional?
Yeah, and The Professional with Natalie Portman and Gary Oldman and... So my first one is the one that doesn't fit is Brain Scan because I don't even know what that is. And it sounds like the kind of movie that might go, this is a movie of the future. So the internet is the way of the future and this is how we're going to succeed. And they put it on the internet and everyone was like, no one heard of you and no one's on the internet yet.
Right.
Lock in Brain Scan. Final answer.
The correct answer is A, Pulp Fiction.
Really? Quentin Tarantino ahead of the curve.
Really?
What the hell's Brain Scan? What was Brain Scan? I don't even know what that is.
It was
like
just some cheesy sci-fi movie that I found that came out.
You a-hole. Quentin Tarantino making one more movie, he says, his last film. He says he does not want to keep making films when he gets older and end up making crappier films, kind of pretty much slamming Clint Eastwood. Every time he says that, he's like, he really is. He's like, I don't want to become that guy like
No, yeah,
Clint
that makes a lot of
Eastwood
sense.
making a lot of bad films. But boy, once you say your next film is your last film, you're putting
a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure. Because if it
Yeah.
sucks, you're like,
No, seriously.
You really should have quit while you're ahead. Okay, 0-0. No one scoring here. Jackson, this is not a multiple choice, and it is another documentary question. So I'm just going to put the pressure on you here. This documentary won the Oscar for Best Documentary in 2006. Don't you dare look it up.
I'm not.
Okay, I want to see your hands at all times.
I was adding multiple choice to my next question because I realized that it might be too hard for you. So
this film, nothing's too hard for me, Jackson. This film, the winner of the 2006 Oscar documentary, had the tagline, "In the harshest place on earth, love finds a way." What was that movie? Documentary. In
the harshest place on earth,
love finds a way. That was it.
And I've seen this movie?
Yes. I'm almost 100% sure you've seen the movie. And if you didn't, you've certainly heard of it.
In the harshest place on earth,
love finds
a way.
The 2006 winner for Best Documentary.
I haven't seen that many documentaries. In the harshest place on earth, love finds a way.
Think of the harshest place on earth.
Immediately, I think Antarctica.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I've seen any Antarctica. I can't think of any Antarctica. The only documentary that I can think of right now that I have seen, I'm thinking of two. I'm thinking of American Movie, this is definitely not. and I'm thinking of the one documentary that my film teacher showed every year about the snowboarder that eats it and gets a brain injury.
Like I said, I'm not 100% sure you've seen it. I'm 100%
But if I've
sure
heard of it, then
you've heard of it.
In the harshest place on earth, love finds a way.
Finds a way.
I feel like such an idiot right now. I'm like head empty.
Are you going to take a 0 on that? I'll give you.
Give me 1 second.
I'll give you a clue, but not until you agree that you did not get it, because I think the clue I give you will give it away.
Yeah, okay, I'm not going to get it, but give me the clue.
What if I told you it was narrated by Morgan Freeman?
Oh. Like, I know it. I don't know what it's called, though. Like, I know it, though. It's
what is it? Give it a description.
I don't know. I can't remember. It's just like a nature documentary, isn't it?
Yep.
What is it? I'm so
It
lost
was
right
in
now.
Antarctica. You were knocking on the door. March of the Penguins.
Oh shit!
You do know that.
Love finds a way.
Yeah.
What love? It's
penguins. Two penguins fall in love, and then she has the love of her little egg, and she's.
I think I have seen that too. I'm pretty sure I have.
Yeah,
seen
I think
that.
I think we showed it to you.
It's
when
been
you were
so
a kid.
long. That's so lame. That's
Yeah.
so lame. That was a tough one.
No, you said Antarctica. You were right there. I said
No, I know. I was. That was on me. That was on me. Okay. All right.
How many
I'm gonna give you the
documentaries
question.
about nature were in Antarctica? All right, go ahead.
Literally.
0
Okay.
for 2, Jackson.
I'm gonna give you the question. Okay. I have a multiple choice option if you think that you want it. I feel like you can get this without it, though.
Okay. I'll tell you what. If I can get it without it, I get a full point. If you have to give me multiple choices and I get it right, I'll just take a half a point. How about that?
Okay.
What
Robin Williams movie originally was supposed to star Liam Neeson?
My first instinct is Popeye, because Liam Neeson looks like the kind of guy who would have big forearms and be Popeye. I don't think it would be Mrs. Wow, if it's Mrs. Doubtfire, I know it can't be, because that's a comedy and no one's hiring Liam Neeson as
I just think of that.
So do I want to lock in? I'm just trying to think.
I'm
trying to think. Awakenings, Bicentennial Man, RV, World According to Garp. Maybe it could be World According to Garp. Although I don't know if Liam was even really around. It's got to be Popeye. But do I want to risk that, or do I want the multiple choice and see if that's one of my 4 choices? I'm going to lock in Popeye and go for 1 point.
Popeye is locked in.
Yes, locked in.
Okay. The answer
It's Popeye.
is...
It's got to be Popeye.
Dead Poets Society.
Oh, my God. Are you serious?
I'm serious.
I think... Wow. That's what...
I'm surprised you didn't say 1 Hour Photo, because if I had to guess, that would be my guess, because that just seems like a more serious, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. He gives that creep vibe, you know?
Oh, I don't know if that would have... Dead Poets Society... Look, I'm not a big Robin Williams fan. I do like 1 Hour Photo. I did enjoy Dead Poets Society, even though I think that's real. I think that's the kids more than him. I liked him as a dramatic actor. I just could not stand his comedies. Just his comedy was, and his stand-up was, I can't even sit through. So, damn. Okay. Oh, we're not doing well here. We're 0-0.
No,
so it comes
we're
down,
at 0-0.
So all you have to do is get this right, and it is a multiple choice question, Jackson.
Okay.
So let's see if you even have a chance of winning. Jackson, which fictional character has killed the most people on screen throughout their history?
Okay.
Is it A, Jason Voorhees from the Friday the 13th movies? B, Michael Myers from the Halloween movies? C, Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street movies? Or 4, Vin Diesel from the Fast and Furious movies?
Huh.
Who has the most on-screen kills through all of their films?
So
Jason,
my initial reaction
Michael,
is
Freddy, or
between.
Vin. Go ahead.
My initial reaction is between Jason and Michael.
Okay.
Because those two I feel like had the most cheesy sequels where it could have been like, I think Michael went to space at one point, and so like he could have blown up a planet for all I know, and that could have been a ton of bodies there.
Okay.
But Vin Diesel, you really threw me off with that one, because now I'm like, oh, but maybe, I don't know, maybe he pulled some wild, bomb thing in one of those movies. That's such a weird. Okay, I'm gonna stick with my gut. And my gut is telling me Michael Myers has killed the most people.
Is that your final answer?
That is my final answer.
Okay. I think that you just said an interesting thing. You said, I think Michael Myers went into space and killed...
No, it was Jason went to space.
It was Jason, and the correct answer is Jason Voorhees.
No, I just mixed them up. Oh, that's so messed up.
Jason Voorhees has killed 162 people on screen since his inception. I think that if in your brain you had thought, oh, you know what, Jason went to space, but I think the second you said Michael went to space, that threw you.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's so lame.
Michael Myers, by the way, second place. Freddy Krueger, third place. Vin Diesel, I just made up just to fuck. Just to fuck with your head. So all I need to do is get this to win.
All you need to do
is get this to win. If not, it's a tie and carries over to next month.
Okay. Here is your last question.
Okay, Jackson, what do you got for me?
In the 2000 Disney Channel original movie, The Color of Friendship, which offensive word is used 2 times, which may be considered offensive to African Americans and can even be heard today in the Disney Plus release?
You are an asshole. You cannot.
It's right there. It's right there.
How did you even find this, you asshole?
It's right there. No, it's right there. I don't know what you mean.
You're so happy with... Look how proud you are of yourself right now. Look how proud you are. How many hours did you spend researching, like, what other movie has used that word so I can come back to him?
It was a big controversy. This is a Disney Channel original movie.
A Disney Channel
They used
original,
an offensive word. I can't tell you which one. That's for you to say.
Uh-huh. Well, everybody, we've tied once again here at the PGN podcast. Mr. Smartass thought that he could.
I had to get even. Come on, I had to get even.
For those who haven't heard previous episodes, there might have been a trivia episode involving Django Unchained and a certain offensive word that I could not get Jackson to utter, so he received no points. That appears to be what may or may not be happening here.
To
be honest with you, is that really a true thing? There was a Disney Channel film
that is a true thing
that had that. Wow,
and it is still uncensored in the Disney Plus re-release.
Well, I mean, if it's historically used, if it's during that time period, and it shows, an act of racism or a slur that would have been slung back then,
I have no clue what the context is.
Or even now, I'm sure it's still used quite a bit in many of our wonderful 50 states. Yeah. Well, you're an asshole. I cannot say it just the way you cannot say it. And I know if I say the N word, you're not going to give me credit for it.
I don't know which one.
Because I didn't.
I don't know which one.
Such a dick. Such a dick. Oh my God! I can't wait till we do trivia again.
Oh no! This is the end of it. This has to be the end of it. We're even now. This has to be it.
Yeah. Good Lord. You're going to come up with something else next time. In Schindler's List, how many times did Liam Neeson's character laugh at the death of... You're going to pull some kind of anti-Semitic bullshit.
That's so messed up.
Oh, my God.
That's so messed up. You think I'd do that to you.
Did you see Schindler's List, by the way?
Yeah, I saw it for the first time last semester, and I cried my eyes out for like an hour after it ended.
I've never revisited that. Such a powerful film.
I will never see it again. It's so good, though.
Yeah, it's great, but I just don't think I could.
No,
you feel like you've been through a war.
Seriously.
Yeah. Wow, so trivia ends with a 0-0.
A 0-0.
So we'll
a poor performance from the both of us.
Wow. Yeah, I really thought you'd get March of the Penguins, especially when you said Antarctica. You were like, oh, it's
I just completely forgot that movie existed. I knew in my head, I was like, it's going to be some nature documentary that's probably, even though I was like, probably something Morgan Freeman voiced over. For some reason, it didn't even occur to me to, I don't know. I forgot that movie existed.
That's hilarious. What do you got planned this week? Anything exciting? Got an improv show coming up? Are you ready for
it? No, I had one last Thursday. It went really well.
Okay. Let me know when you're
a week from next Thursday, I think.
Okay, you got the Thursday Thursday off maybe?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let me know when you're ready. I'll come down and
Definitely.
I'm going to shout out some really inappropriate suggestions.
I will say the last crowd we had sucked. Like it was just like these two frat guys that we blacklisted last semester snuck in somehow, and it was just such a pain.
Oh.
Like making rude comments at the girls when they were on stage, and
I think
serious? we always close with a sex is like. We just do sex is like at the end of every show,
right?
And they were just like the whole time they're just like underage, and I was like, what are you?
Oh my God. Well,
good one, guys.
As soon as I get the thing, I'm just going to yell out that word they use in Django Unchained.
And the 2000 Disney Channel classic.
Yeah, that won't be inappropriate at all, will it? Next week on the PGN podcast, reviews of Smile, the new horror film, Bros, the romantic comedy with Billy Eichner. We're going to take a look at the classic horrific film, the remake of Rollerball with Chris Klein and LL Cool J. And we will reveal our top 10 movies, each separate list. Wouldn't it be weird if there's a similar film?
I was thinking that too. I was like, what happens if that's the case?
What are the chances that there's a movie I saw that you saw? I bet you it happens. I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Top 10 movies that really molded our childhood and confirmed our love of film between the ages of 0 and 18. I have a feeling 10 through 2 is going to be Wiggles videos for Jackson, but we'll see. See how well
Classics.
I know my son. Jackson, where can everyone follow you?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram and Twitter at Jackson N Burns. That's about it.
Yeah.
That's about it for me. That's all I got going
I'm on the Instagram, Regan N Burns. Please like.
No, Regan.Burns.
Oh, Regan.Burns.
Regan. Burns.
Yeah, I don't have the extra N. Jackson for some reason.
Yeah.
Jackson, and I think we all know what that extra N stands for.
I knew you were gonna say that. I was waiting for that.
You asshole. Follow me at Regan.Burns. Make sure to like and follow our YouTube channel and leave us comments. Hey, we need suggestions now for next month. Classic films that we might have missed, and some real stinkers that you want to torture us to make us watch. Until next time, this is the Parental Guidance Neglected podcast. Thanks for listening or watching, and we'll see you next time. Love you, buddy.
Love you too. Peace out, guys.